able to maneuver vehicles in and out of there, to be able to maneuver vehicles through those drives between the buildings and such. With the current tow lot location, we discussed keeping the current tow lot location and flipping the proposed storage areas and the proposed buildings so that we would move the proposed buildings to the red areas and then move the outdoor storage and tow lots to where the current tow lot is and then to the west. That will provide for, I think, the maneuverability that they're going to need on the site, and it allows for the proper spacing for the drives and such. The zoning ordinance does allow for tweaks in plan development plans from the current standards. That's part of the benefit of going through the plan development process. You can vary from some of the standards. One thing the applicant has asked, since their current tow lot is an approved lot with gravel surfacing, they have asked that their proposed tow and storage lots also be permitted for gravel surfacing. Staff is comfortable with that, but we do recommend that they be required to be set back 15 feet from the southern property lines, to be not located within any easement, and be screened with a solid fence and landscaping. And these changes, based on code, we can put these conditions on this preliminary development plan and then see them implemented on the final development plan. And you will, as a body, see that final development plan when it comes through. Building elevations, there are some details, one detail on here that staff is recommending be clarified. This is pretty basic elevation details for a storage building. It's going to be a building with lots of garages on it. The detail talks about corrugated tin building materials, which looks like this. That is not a permitted building material in the Gardner design standards, so we are asking that that be revised to be non-corrugated metal, which these are some examples. I believe it's just a mistake on the elevations, but that needs to be revised to make sure that we aren't moving forward with that type of building material in mind. Some site details, just wanted to bring to your attention. The sign says it's to be relocated, and that's fine. We haven't seen where that's going to be relocated, but that would typically be shown in a final development plan. Landscaping is preliminary in the preliminary development plan phase. We like to see some sort of preliminary landscaping plan just to make sure that the applicant has some forethought as to where the landscaping needs to be, to make sure that they have kept space in mind without having to make large revisions from the preliminary to the final to make space for those trees and landscaping. So that will be reviewed and approved through the final development plan. And existing trash enclosures to remain. They're not asking to, or proposing to add another one. No new street access is proposed. 9 parking stalls are existing and no new are proposed. With a mini warehouse facility, you typically don't get a lot of people coming in and parking. A lot of the traffic for that is going into the facility, parking in front of their unit, unloading or loading and leaving. So we feel that the proposed, or the existing 9 stalls meet the requirements. The city engineer has approved pavement without curbing for the site. The applicant had requested that since the site that's existing does not have curbing, that they be able to continue to not put in curbing. City engineer has approved that. They've taken that into consideration with their stormwater calculations. No new sanitary or water connections are proposed. The only thing you'll see on the plans are electrical connections for lighting for the structures. Some highlights in the preliminary plat: they're not dedicating any new right-of-way, and they will be dedicating a new easement for Gardner Electric. Staff recommends that the Planning Commission hold a public hearing and forward the request to rezone Gardner Auto Body and Storage from C3 to MP1 and approve the associated preliminary development plan and forward that recommendation to the City Council with the approval of recommendation of approval subject to the conditions outlined in the staff report. Staff also recommends approval of the preliminary development plan for Gardner Auto Body and Storage 2, subject to the conditions outlined in the staff report.
Thank you. Do we have any presentation from the applicant this evening? Any questions for staff, members of the commission? Not hearing any, we'll go ahead and open the public hearing. If anyone would like to comment on this item, please come forward, state your name and address for the public record. Not seeing anyone coming forward. Do we have a motion to go ahead and close the public hearing?
Move we close the public hearing?
Second. Motion to close the public hearing made by Weatherford, seconded by Barber. All in favor?
Aye. Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries with all in favor to close the public hearing. Not hearing additional questions for staff. Can I get a motion to move forward with staff recommendation? I guess we need to vote separately on the items. I get a motion to move forward with, we'll go with old business item number 1A, Gardner Auto Body and Storage.
Okay. Madam Chair, I move that we forward the request to rezone Gardner Auto Body to City Council with a recommendation for approval, subject to conditions A through G.
Second.
We have a motion to forward item number 1A, Gardner Auto Body and Storage to City Council for approval, made by Lavella, second by Limer, I believe I heard correctly. All those in favor?
Aye. Aye.
Any opposed? The motion carries to forward item number 1A, the rezone of Gardner Auto Body and Storage to City Council for approval. Been made. Item number 1B, the consideration of the preliminary plat for Gardner Auto Body and Storage number 2. I get a motion on that one.
Madam Chair, I move that we approve the preliminary plat for Gardner Auto Body and Storage 2, subject to conditions 1 through 6.
A second. So we have a motion made by Lavella, second by Gilmore, to approve the preliminary plat for Gardner Auto Body and Storage 2 with the staff conditions 1 through 6, made by Lavella, second by Gilmore. All those in favor?